Welcome to my orchid house. I have been growing orchids for approximately 40 years, and I've been in this current location for about 16 years. I predominantly grow dendrobiums in the hard cane variety, section spatulata. I do have a mixed collection where I have sections from all through the dendrobium family. I have some Australian natives, as I'm an Australian native orchid judge, as well as an AOC judge and a North Morton judge. As you can see, my collection is all grown within the one large greenhouse. And as we walk from the front to the back of the greenhouse, we can see the light intensity increase. This is because I'm trying to grow all my orchids within the one shade house, and I'm setting up microclimates to meet the needs of particular genera. Hard cane spatulata type dendrobiums require bright light, high light intensities. They require good airflow, no rain at night, so they don't like being cold and wet. And they also get protected from the cold and the wet by having a product on top of the roof called solar weave. Now, solar weave is a clear plastic membrane that I've put underneath the shade cloth, and I'm growing in shade cloth with a 50% UV shade factor. You can see some very nice spatulatas in flower. You'll also notice that there is different potting mediums. Some are in baskets, some are on mounts. I prefer to grow my spatulata dens in the plastic mesh basket because as epiphytes, they require their roots to dry out well between waterings. And I find in my situation that I can make sure that my orchid roots dry out. So you can see some newly potted orchids here, and already you'll see on this one, the roots are starting to come through on the basket. To grow good orchids, most genera require good light, good airflow, water, and nutrients. And then you'll require extra care with regards to pest control and fungal and bacterial pathogen control. So I'm trying to maintain the airflow with the addition of fans. And you'll notice that my fans are located close to the roof. And this is so all the hot air that's accumulating on the top of the orchid house is pushed along the orchid house and then forced out through these back vents that I have at the rear of the orchid house. You can see those vents are open. As we go closer to the front of the greenhouse, we have extra shading. And the extra shading I have got is for orchids that are from low light areas. For example, bulbophyllums. And so the bulbophyllums are hung a little lower than the remaining orchids in the greenhouse. Those requiring higher light are hung closer to the ceiling. Those requiring lower light are placed below. Those that still require less light, I have added an extra layer of silver shade cloth. And so this reflects a lot of the heat, still allowing enough light to come through, especially for the low light growing species such as Sarcochilis, Roboquidias, Homodicalpas, and other little dendrobes that require less light, and they come from the more shaded areas within our forests. Here we have a good tetragonum, Dendrobium tetragonum, growing in lower light. Then we move into the section where I have my Falcata Vandaceous type growing and flowering. Again, Vandaceous require strong light, and so you'll see on the roof just the solar weave and 50% shade cloth. They're responding very well to this light level, as you can see from the quality of the growth and plants that are blooming. Towards the back of the greenhouse, I have a section specifically designated for Dendrobium bigibbum. Now, bigibbum is the Queensland floral emblem, and here we have one that's flowering out of season, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a Phalananthe type Dendrobium, but because it comes from the northern parts of Queensland and Northern Territory, it has a seasonally wet and seasonally dry period. And so during the winter months, this genera has to be kept dry with very little nutrients. If it's not kept dry, the plants will deteriorate and form kikis or babies, which you then have to save before the mother plant dies. So having the sealed roof on top allows me to keep the section Phalananthe dry during the winter, and having them all located in one area of the greenhouse allows me to control the water, nutrients at all times throughout the year, and make sure that they are receiving the same care all together to highlight their blooming period in autumn. So I hope you've enjoyed a very quick walk through my growing section in my orchid collection. Thank you for watching.